To be honest, we hadn't thought about it a whole lot. It's still probably not even on the radar screen. There's too many things in between that. And again, the trip is more what I would think about is more beneficial to us. And I think about is practice. We get to 10 days of practice. That's what's kind of special about these trips. And then what's good, especially with a brand new team, is just the opportunity to bond over there for those 7, 8, 9 days, whatever it is, we're over there. The competition of playing, I think we just played 3 games against some of their international pro guys, whatever's in Costa Rica. But I don't think the competition is overwhelming. It's just the opportunity for us to be together as a team and a new team. But the 10 days of practice is what's most valuable. But I haven't put a lot of thought into practice yet. We're still trying to, get kids in here daily.
You got to make sure you guys have passports.
Yeah, that's right. That's all part of it. We're on top of that. These passports, there's a new rule in the passports that I found out about. I wasn't even aware of that got hung up. Because you have a passport and it's hasn't expired yet. There's a lot of countries that have a 9-month expiration before it expires. So if you got a passport and you got 9 months left on it before it expires, or 8 months, you think you're okay, you're not okay anymore. So gathering that up, guys who don't have, and a lot of players have passports. A lot of these guys have done different things, but a lot of them don't. So Talvis and Martin's on top of all that.
How important was it with such a young team to add Darius and add Dwight there later?
Well, you guys heard me say all along, you can't, experience is invaluable. And experience overcomes a lot of things. And I don't care, where your talent is with some young guys, you got to have a element of experience in there. And if you get experienced talent guys, then you got something really special. Well, we knew we're a new team. At this point, there's 12 new guys on this team. There's 1 guy back that's played any minutes at all last year. So it's 12 new guys. It was very important to get some experience on the perimeter, guy that's played some. Darius is a guy that started out as a point guard at Tennessee. Played valuable minutes at Tennessee. I think he started 8 or 10 games as a freshman to Virginia then, and played multiple positions. But he gives you some experience. He comes from a winning culture. He comes from a home life. He was raised by a coach. Coach Thompson's a long-time relationship, as I said, goes back 30-plus years. My days at Austin Peay's, his days at Middle Tennessee. And we had mutual friends. One of his best friends worked on my staff then for years, so it was a long-time relationship there. So getting a kid like him's, really important. Then, Dwight, we're really thin on the inside. After Justin's playing football until December, he was the only experienced guy we had coming back. And that's the part of his game that we will miss as much as anything, is leadership from March to October, or off season. That's when players are made. But we have nobody here with any type of experience like that. So, and not having Justin at all until December, you basically have, 2 guys. So it was really important to add Dwight and give us, again, some experience back there. Mitchell's a freshman, and Mustafa's never played a minute of Division I basketball. He played 1 year of junior college. So both of those guys were really important, and they're important too. They're high-character guys. They're good people. They're high-character guys that we think both can play.
Going back to the perimeter, what kind of experience and level of play does Lamonte bring? He played high-level basketball in Buffalo. So.
Well, we'll see. I've said all along, don't question his talent level. He's got a different element of talent. I think his adjustment will continue to be, just doing all the little things right every day. Not as much between the lines, off the court. There's a correlation. What happens off the court happens between the lines. Putting that consistency with accountability, everything you do every day. That's where his element of improvement needs to keep growing at. Is he better than he was when he got here? Absolutely, in every way. Is it where it needs to be? No, but we're making progress. Well, I really can't tell you enough right yet. To be honest, we haven't seen him play. You know, we've had individual workouts. I guess he's had about 4 of them now, 5 of them. You know, the first thing that always stands out. Last year he couldn't practice with us. You know, couldn't watch him. Never seen him. It goes back to his high school stuff and his freshman year in JUCO. That's basically all we saw. But we know what we're getting as a person. He's a high character guy. He's a hard worker. He's gonna be a quick learner. I think and I've got to be patient with him and understand where he's coming from. He's never been, I don't say coach is not the right word, but he has very limited experience. Going to JUCO and, there's not a lot of drills and things that they're doing every day. So it's all new to him too, absolutely new. But like I've said, he's a great young man. He's got a great attitude. He's got great work ethic, and he's going to do whatever you ask him to do, the best of his abilities, and that's all you can ask.
Based on what you've seen from his JUCO tape, what kind of skills does he have? What kind of things does he do well?
Well, I don't know if you watch tape, you really see some things because, I thought his high school tapes show probably more skill ability, putting it down, dribbling, and doing little things away from the basket. When you get in JUCO, that's not the way it works. Most of the time you're a big guy, run down to the block and post up and hope we throw you the ball. And that don't happen very often, even getting the ball thrown to you in JUCO. Them guards going to fire it up. Probably the way you do, Matt, when you play intramurals, you just fire it up. Big guy got no chance to get the basketball. So I don't watch a lot of tape trying to figure that out. I think he has some skill level. He has the ability to put it down the perimeter. Seems to have a pretty good ability to shoot it out there. Going up and down the floor yet, haven't seen 0 of it. Where is his mindset of the game being played? Where does he see next play happening at before it happens? Where's his basketball instincts at when you put all those people around him? Those things we'll gradually learn here as we keep going forward with him. But I'm gonna keep saying this: whatever it is, he's a great young man. He's got high character. He's got great work ethic, and he'll keep getting better. I just got to keep remembering he's brand new. He's had 0 experience. Don't matter how much we're counting on him and need him, he's a young guy, and he really hasn't, had the opportunity to learn a lot. So I just got to keep all of that in perspective as we move forward and coaching him some.
Coach, with Ben's promotion, are you fully staffed? Right now. So we'll see as we move forward. Yes, but Ben's, I guess they released that yesterday, didn't they? So y'all got the statement.
You released it.
I said I'd give you all a bone up there.
Yeah.
Trying to help you 2 guys out. I was trying to avoid this today, but giving y'all something. So, but Mike called and said he wanted to have one of these, so I'm here because Mike wants to have one. So, Matthew had nothing to do with you. So, why aren't you refereeing? Did you referee camp last week?
Did.
Did you get any calls right?
Every one of them.
Good. Okay. What was the question? Ben. Hey, Ben's a guy, he's a grinder. That's what he is. That's what he's been all his life. He made himself a player through hard work. A guy, I think his only offer he had was Mississippi State. And end of the line, he got himself in the NBA just through hard work. So, I love that about him. He'll be a great workout guy. I think he's a guy, whatever you give him, he's going to do it wide open. If you ever sit down and watch him eat, he eats wide open. Everything about him is wide open. So I love that about him. And again, he's a grinder. And I like those grinders.
With regards to Mitchell, you've had NBA-type talent before. How do you deal with scouts coming around and people talking to him about the NBA, that aspect of his?
I think it's always a good problem to have. I don't ever look at it as a negative problem. Some kids handle it better than others, but when you got some guys that's in those kind of conversations, that means you got a pretty good player.
guy have a lot of potential. I like that. I like for him to come around, not come around. I didn't have a lot last year knocking my doors to come around. So the doors will be open if they want to come around this year. And we'll, we have certain rules that we'll have as far as control and all that. But, we welcome the NBA scouts, when our time's right for them to come in here and watch these guys.
Speaking about Mitchell, how valuable is it for him to be out west with the USA team and getting those reps?
Well, it's really good for him. I mean, he's playing on a huge stage. That's one of the best stages there is in America. A chance to make USA basketball team. I'll be very disappointed if he doesn't make it. I think he should make it. I know he's played and had a good day out there yesterday. Any of that kind of experience will only make him better down the road. He's playing against some of the best every day, and his international competition when they go to Egypt there in July, that's just going to help him too. So, as I said many times, Mitchell's one of those guys that, there's a lot for him to learn. His abilities are based on just his talent, his ability to run and jump. As he continues to add skills in understanding that game, then his game's going to take off. As a post guy, he's a guy that's never really had a post move. Doesn't have a post move. Never been thrown the ball in the post. He has 0 post moves as a big guy. And, that's that next level for him to keep adding to that talent level he's got. But like I said, he has a special talent level about him, and there will be a learning curve for him. Mike, what you got, man? Come on.
Rick, about Jake Owen. The statement came out, and I read your quotes about it.
What'd I say?
You love his competitive nature, among other things. But specifically, when you were at the state tournament, the Sweet 16 tournament, congratulations on Isaac, by the way, winning state.
Well, I thank Coach Sherrill all the time, just letting him be a part of it, hanging on and being a part of it. It wasn't the amount of points he scored or rebounds he got, just being a part of the team. Coach Sherrill, you need to thank for that.
Was there a specific moment watching Jake in person that you just said, I want that guy? Was there a specific play, or was it just an accumulation of what he was doing over during the Sweet 16 tournament?
Well, remember this, recruiting, there's no science to it. You just got to be right more than you are wrong. And it's easy to evaluate the great talent. Everybody can walk in the gym and say, that guy can play. Those are not the guys that necessarily win you championships. We like to have some of those guys. But the guys really help you win, and especially at Western Kentucky. Some of those guys are going to be on the radar. It's one of those guys you're going to look up in a year and a half, 2 years from now and say, where'd he come from? And that's kind of guys, I've had more of those in my career than any of those other guys. So it's easy for me, and I say easy, I think I've been lucky through the years being able to project young men. And like I say, there's no right or wrong or no science to it. And I can relate this going back to a kid I had out of Kentucky several years ago. I think only scholarship offer he had was Georgetown. And maybe Wilma Mary came in on him late. And he was from my hometown, Rowley Beanock. And, Rowley ended up being a valuable role. Helped us win the SEC championship. Probably didn't lead us in scoring or rebounding very many nights. But again, those guys coming off that bench are guys that help you win championships. So when I project looking at Jake, you saw him state tournament? Who all was state tournament? Who was up there? Okay. Well, y'all know the buzz he had up there. And you watched him play. And he's more, everybody talks about him being a shooter. Well, I think he's more than just a shooter. I think he's a guy who can put that ball on the floor. Got it to the rim. I think he got some moxie about him, which you better have. If you 5'11" and who you are, you better have some moxie and some toughness about you. And, you can see that in his play. He's fearless. And he did it on a huge stage. All right, can he do it again? Well, you guys showed back up to see if he could do it again. He did it again. Well, I showed back up that last game to see if he could really do it against, really good quickness and athletes that Bowling Green had. And, Isaac was telling me, hey, Dad, we're going to run and trap Jake the first time he catches it. Well, They ran and trapped him, he split that trap, and they had a 3 right off the bat. They got out of that in a hurry. He showed me some things there again. And you all know this. He took that team, he put them on his back and had the last-second shot to win that game. And that's all I saw him. I saw him 3 days, but I came away every time saying, this guy's got something. This guy's got something. And by the time that last game was, that Sunday morning, you know, as you well know, about Sunday night, he was a heel topper. And he hadn't disappointed, I don't think, in any All-Star games. You know, how's he match up against other guys from other states? You know, I don't know. Well, I think he goes to the Ohio game first. Is that correct? Yeah, I don't know. May let him in scoring or whatever. It was really good. Well, how's he match up against Indiana? And again, I know nothing about Indiana's players except the one kid going to UCLA. But evidently, he played pretty well. I guess he had 24 up at Indy and had 30 the last game. I had somebody text me from Frankfurt and said, hey, he thought he was the best player on the court for either team. So what he is, I don't know, but here's what I do know. When you're trying to sign 11, 12, 13 guys like we are, for sure, and maybe if you only needed 3 or 4, there's a place like that for a guy like him on your roster at Western Kentucky. Those guys you can't make mistakes on. And those are the guys that, you know, I think looking back on it, I think we feel pretty comfortable saying is I think the best 2 players in the state, both on the radar a little bit. I think we got them here at Western Kentucky. You know, I think Hollingsworth, if we hadn't got him done earlier, I think there's been some other schools in this state, a couple more schools in this state trying to get him late. And I think he turned out to have a really good year. And back to Jake, I think Jake does one thing when you're evaluating a guy, what's he do special? I always ask my guys, when you look at a player, tell me one thing he does special. If he can do a couple things special, then you got something special. Whereas one thing you look at Jake, you're going to come away from every time you look at him. What's he do special?
Doesn't back down.
Well, that's good if you feel that way. That's great. What else does he do special?
Scores.
Mama, you got it. You've been around a little bit. He shoots it. That's right. He's a special shooter. Now, if you can be competitive, too, with that, if you can put it down a little bit, if you score different ways, you know, he scores multiple ways. And again, he did it on a huge stage. He did it on a big stage. He's had 2 workouts so far. Today will be his 3rd one. I can promise you the first 2 days of workouts, he didn't disappoint me. That same shot that I saw 2.5 months ago, you know, and that's what I always say about shooters. Matt, you don't know anything about being a shooter, so you won't understand this statement. The goals are the same wherever you play at. If it goes in, it goes in. Where you're 5'11", or you're 6'5". If that ball goes in the hole, it translates. His translates. That ball goes in. 2 days of shooting, that ball went in and looks good going in. I mean, it's consistently tight. So we'll see how when we start putting it all together, you know,